Good morning. My name is Nick Tran, and I'm here today to talk about my passion and maybe make a confession. You see, my passion involves shooting people and blowing them up, and my favorite, hanging them. Of course, I'm talking about photography, shooting the picture, printing it out, and hanging it on the wall. And so many people ask me why I like photography, and it's because each picture has their own challenge to it and a certain type of patience. And so many cameras today can automatically expose and saturate the picture for you. And what the technology does is it sets all the mathy settings for you, the ISO, shutter, aperture, metering, etc. And so all these variables affect each other in one way or the other, directly or indirectly. And so a photographer must know how to readily calculate the settings before a shot goes away. And so that's why many photographers and beginners prefer landscapes, simply because they don't move, so you have all the time in the world to get a good shot. And so about a month ago, winter break, my family and I took a trip to the Grand Canyon. Fortunately for me, it snowed there, creating beautiful scenery and endless photographic opportunities. And so you would think it's the Grand Canyon, nothing moves at all. I'd have all the time in the world to get the shot. But it was cold, and snow to us Texans is unknown. And so I wanted to go inside. So there I was on the edge of a frozen cliff, no railing or anything, just 1,000 drop feet into the canyon below. And so my mom didn't really trust me on the edge of the cliff, and neither did I, so she tagged along. And so I spent maybe 20 minutes or so trying to get the exposure and good angles, and came up with these. And that one right there in the middle would be my first black and white shot. I've never done it, and I think it came out great. And so all of these, I spent time trying to compose a good shot. And what composition is basically the angle of a picture, because a camera or a phone can do all the settings for you, make the picture look nice, but it can't point itself at a subject, an object, a person, whatever, and make it look interesting. And so what we call this in the photographer community is having an eye. And this eye allows one to make anything interesting. And actually, I think my brother may have a better eye than me, because over the summer, my family and I took a trip to Baltimore. And so in the hotel, me and my brother were just hanging. And we were doing our own thing. And my brother calls to me, "Nick, look, there's a butterfly." And so him being the annoying little brother, I really didn't care. So I nonchalantly walked over to see what all the commotion was about. And then it hit me, the perfect shot. So I fumble to get my camera, run to get about 4 shots before it flew off. And so the pictures I got, to me, I think they're good composition, but the exposure wasn't as great because I simply didn't have enough time because it flew off. And I don't know if you can see this on the projector, but there are horizontal flares from the windows because my exposure wasn't the greatest because I didn't have time to fix it. And to remove all this, many photographers use post-processing to remove artifacts and kind of mask and use the technology in programs, as you hear, Photoshop, Lightroom, Phase 1, etc. And so those flares, yes, they could have been removed, but to me, using software and technology to boost your colors and mask and basically hide your flaws, it's kind of cheating. And so this is where I do my post-processing, and I'll admit sometimes I'll stay up late at night doing this instead of studying. And so to prove how much I like photography, this is me one day after a Cars and Coffee meet, and I really wanted to see my pictures, and just also shows my laziness, but that's besides the point. Then I just didn't even take the chat box. But even then, I'm against all this post-processing. You can still have some fun shots like this one. I took a picture with the hood closed and one open, and I blended them together using a masking tool, and it came out kind of a glass effect. And so that's all what post-processing can do. And so many people ask me as a photographer what camera I would recommend. And I tell them the one right there in your pocket, the one with you at all times, because to me that's the best camera. You can be the most skillful photographer in the world and have the nicest medium format camera, but it all goes to waste if you don't have your camera on you. And I certainly don't lug around my camera with me all the time. And so with your phone, you can capture any moment, from your cutest moment to your coldest moment to, maybe some stunning shots. Your phone is very capable. And so many of us today have cameras. And if not, we have cell phones with cameras. And there's an inner photographer in all of us. And I encourage you to find that. Thank you.